Hi, welcome back friend. You are learning kinetic typography project, and here in this practical exercise we will be adding some more text animation to your story. Previously you have learned about trim path, block, text animation, 3D isometric, and now here in this exercise you will be adding some transformations to various kinds of text, and we'll be adding some pictures or vectors to convey the story. So just create a new solid, choose your color. I'm not a designer by profession, so forgive me for choosing a different color that's not that much appealing. You can choose your own design choices. If you are a designer, you will definitely create a good animation using a combination of custom colors or different shades. You can also look at various sites like color.adobe.com to find the latest color trend that you can use. Just select a similar color for the text. As per my experience, I thought that monochromatic color scheme works better. So here, you can also zoom in or zoom out the control monitor here, the display screen. You can readjust based on your requirement. So just create some more text layers here. Add the story. We have talked about in the story project where we are talking about a story of money from Stone Age to Bronze Age to Coin Age. Now we have reached the age of plastic money after the paper note. Here we will add a story about just a few decades ago we got the plastic currency. So here after that we will placing the vectors or images for the plastic currencies. Just add the text layers properly on the screen. Position them at the place where you want. Just rescale them accordingly. You need to also here you will learning about anchor points. The importance of anchor point is huge. So when you try to scale any text layer or any object in After Effects, it will go to if your anchor point or the pivot is placed right in the centroid of the shape, you would have a unique appearance, regular expressions. But when you reposition your anchor point to the left or right or any different location, it will create a different kind of animation. So here, just go to the selection tool, select any text that you want to animate, or you can just reposition your anchor point using the pan behind tool. So here, I will first animating these things, and you will also learn about the alpha matte to track mattes. So just take a shade of similar color. You can always change your colors or size of font or anything until you are satisfied. I take a same font for the entire project. It is better to take one single font type for your entire story rather than picking different fonts. So here just go to the selection tool, select any text and go to the desired time, or you can zoom in the timeline a bit to get a better overview. So zoom in the timeline. I prefer 1 second gap. uh, some people use the frame gaps. Just go to the desired location, select the text layers, all text layers, and hit the open square brackets to start those animations at that point. Now just insert a new null object or just create a new shape. For that you need to zoom out the screen a little bit because we want to cover the entire solid or entire screen here, and just rotate it slightly or 45-degree to be exact. This is square because we want this effect like shutter effect the camera shutter effect, that the screen will pop up from the center to the outward direction in the corners, in the top, right, left, and the bottom sides. So here, just add this thing. Add the shape layer right above the solid, the background solid, and choose the alpha for the solid. You can apply scaling and set the keyframes accordingly. Just set the initial keyframe to 0 and the final keyframes to 100, so it will scale up right from the center to the outer directions, and you need to define your 100% to be outside the screen. So just zoom out the monitor a little bit to create the shape as covering entire solid. So once you are done with this, just play the animation. So here it is. We want this fade in effect, this transition to cover our animation, and after this entry has been done, we need to readjust the text layers individually, and we want our text to appear just after this alphabet entry of the background has been done. Now just go to the pan behind tool and put the anchor point towards the left bottom corner of the text layer. So this way your text will look like it is pinned to this corner. And set the keyframe for rotation. We'll have a 90-degree rotation to the right angle. Set your initial keyframe at the desired location, and after say half a second later, set another keyframe with a 90-degree change. You can apply easing to smooth down your animation, and here it is. So we can use the anchor point using the pan behind tool and set your anchor point to different corners of the screen, not just the boundary of your text layer. You can also put it somewhere outside the text layer, to the center of the screen, outside the screen, anywhere you want. So this way, you with the same values of the keyframes, you can apply different kinds of animations. Anchor point is cool thing. So here the second text layer, when where we have placed our anchor point right in the center bottom, text is rotating just in the center like a twist. So here it is, and similarly you can animate other layers. You can also apply the effects and presets that are available by default in the After Effects. You can choose a combination of various effects or transformations and anything more you want to do. Hi, welcome back friend. Now moving forward with our previous text animation, we have created multiple text layers. We have added a fade in effect using alpha matte, and now just go to the third text. We have learned using anchor points with the pan behind tool, we can just change the normal transformations to a different one. You can use a combination of presets that are always in there in After Effects, or you can add various plugins. You can try these presets, and if it doesn't work, you can delete any effect that you apply, or just press the Ctrl plus Z to remove the previous effect. You can always add the transformations, the 5 transformations: opacity, position, scale, and rotation in 3 dimensions. Set the keyframe here with the third text. I will be setting opacity, so I want it to appear from nowhere. So initially set the opacity to 0, and after say half a second later, just set it to 100%. You can apply easing to have a smooth effect. So just we have 3 text animation. These pop up differently. First two are rotations, but with a different anchor points. One with the side corner and one with the center. And third has the opacity blur. And the fourth text, you can set the position. Just go to the text layer, press the open bracket to start your text layer right from the place where you want. You can always add more combination of keyframes, but sequencing the text layers or any shape layer is a better option, is a best practice. So you can easily refer it back to the compositions whenever you want to do edits or in the post-production environment. So just apply easing to all the text layers or simple transformations. Here it is. So it doesn't look appealing with the designing perspective, but it has a clear animation. As an animator, a motion graphics artist, your point is to do the job smoothly, the transitions and everything. Possibly you will be working with a team, so a designer will assist you in designing points things. So add a new null object because after these texts has been done, I want to rocket file these texts out of the screen. So just pick whip them together to this null point and set all these layers including null to the 3 dimension so that I can apply the rotation in z coordinate or z axis. So here go to the desired time where you want to apply the transition of fading out of the screen. So here just set to the Z rotation, set a keyframe initially to the default, and after say half a second later just twist it a little bit. So I want to fire it to the right, top right corner of the screen, so rotating it accordingly. You could also provide the values manually by typing, or you can just scroll with your left mouse. You can reposition your text, so in that case it would appear to you, or after say half a second later we want our text to go out of the screen. Don't forget to apply easing because it will smooth down everything. So here it is. So our text appears one by one, and after it has conveyed the message it fires out of the screen. So after you are done with this, you are satisfied, you can add simple vectors. We are creating various vectors for the plastic money and will include it in the project. So just rescale your control screen monitor and make a smaller version of it to readjust the size of your vectors. Sometimes vectors are large enough, so you need to scale them down accordingly. It is better to use the vector formats such as Illustrator instead of raster files such as PNG, because PNGs lost the quality of the image after you multiple times scale up or down, but vector files retain their originality and the quality. So here these are the 4 cards that I won't be using. These are the dummy cards. That doesn't apply in a real thing. You can create your own vectors or you can search it on various websites. So here just we'll be adding a few vectors. Some people tend to use only the text animation and kinetic typography, but I prefer to add a combination of images because an image can speak 1,000 words. So sometimes your image could add some more meaning to your data or information. So when you animate any text, it is also an image because it has been animated. It is not stationary text. So here it is. We have repositioned our vectors or images, and after we are done with, just set keyframes for each vectors. Just rearrange them in the order you want to appear. Set the position keyframe for the one thing. Here I want our cards to appear from top side of the screen, outside of the screen, to the center or the positions. They will be falling with different speeds and different times. So set the keyframes accordingly. You can also apply a combination of position plus opacity, position plus rotation, or multiple transformations simultaneously to add some more meaning to your information. Otherwise, just choose a combination. Don't align them in the sequence. keep them random at a random locations on the screen, so it will add some more meaning. It may look like when you are throwing a card on the ground. Everyone won't fall in a line or a pattern. They will have some randomness. So try to mimic the nature. So here just replay this animation again to recheck you have done what you are actually planning to do. So here we are done with this animation. You will learning more in the coming exercises. Keep learning and keep moving ahead.